Record this. I'm starting to watch what looks like it's going to be a good film. Um, it's called Jay Kelly. It just came out on Netflix, but it's with Adam Sandler. Oh yeah, Bruce Sanguin. Yeah, that's who it
Yes.
is. Yeah. Anyways, the name will come to me. I've only watched honestly 10 minutes of it, but uh, it looks like it's going to be good. The film opens with the protagonist, Jay Kelly. He's portraying a suicidal theme or a scene, like where he's just talking in the script when they're shooting the actual film inside the movie. So it's a movie inside a movie. Uh, he's talking about how he feels empty, he feels hollow, and he wants out of the game. And then it cuts. It's it's then the scene is finished, the film is a wrap, and then you see him in his real life, and he's been acting for like 35 years. And what becomes clear even in the short time that I watched the film is that he's he is the guy that was acting that scene. Like, his life has been a performance for so long that he doesn't know how to connect with his true life, with his true self. So not only in this film that he's making, but in his life with his daughter, with old friends, he can't break out of the performance of being like the film star. And you can tell it's haunting him because he can't break through. It's a beautiful metaphor. He's a performer, and what he's seeing, what's trying to break through, is that he's a performer, like for his profession, but it's also leaked over into his actual life. And there's a kind of quiet desperation in that because he can't connect with reality, like he's not in the truth of his life or the truth of life itself. And his whole life is buffered against it because, of course, he's so wealthy, and he's got, he's a bodyguard, and he has a personal assistant who is with him at every step of the way, and somebody else is organizing his life, and his kids see through it. So I thought about it. Just put me in touch with the tragic dimension of how, although you and I aren't actors, um, we were set up how we were set up and how insidious the performance is, like, and therefore what it takes to come out of the performance. And it's and again, it's more than a habit. It's like it's we confused it with our identity. So to the extent that we have this image of ourselves that we've been performing and we get attached to it, it's like we'd rather, for a while, if it's not too painful, like stay in that image than actually break out and into real life, because we don't know the terrain. We don't know who we actually are if we're not performing. And so that implicit invitation of life to discover who we are, moment by moment, um, rather than live out the old patterns, is at first threatening. It's like threatening, it's scary. Um, so and there is a kind of tragic dimension to this, that it sometimes it takes decades to catch on. Then all those decades are gone, and what did they mean? And what was I doing? Um, so there's a grief associated with that. That is the life we lost in the living. It's like in the living out the performance, and the grief of just understanding the setup, how we were set up to perform rather than actually live. Like in the first place, what is the core of us? It's got to be associated somehow with what we want, what our desires are. It's like but we learned early on that if we're not legitimate, if our desires are ignored, or if we're humiliated or punished, that there's no point in expressing ourselves, like in this life of self-expression, of true self-expression, which is the alternative versus the performance. It's like, okay, express what we want. I was dealing with a man who's a client, and he could not land in the legitimacy of his desires. So he'd spent a lifetime trying to control others so that he wouldn't have to express his desires and be rejected. So he would do all the setting up of, he's going to go for what he wanted, but first he would set up all the conditions that made it impossible for the other person to say no. He had some wealth, so we looked at this and said, well, what would it be like for you just to go, hey, this is what I want. I'm kind of lonely. Would you come and visit me? But no carrot dangling, no, just flat out. And what he got in touch with was that he felt like he couldn't face the humiliation of rejection with his own kids, with his friends. He had to make sure that he never experienced what he experienced too early, too often in life, which was to state his needs and desires clearly and then be rejected. And so he got into the control trap. And there was a whole, obviously, with all these traps, there's a whole performance, that accompanies it. So, yeah, just a short reflection on how the challenge, the need absolutely to connect with your true self, but just to sort of show a little empathy towards yourself around how challenging it is to make a decision that, okay, whatever it takes, I will be uncompromisingly myself and express myself. And that always comes from a core of whatever my desires are. They're legitimate. Like, just express them. But the world doesn't have to go, like, it's not selfish to express your desires. It's selfish to expect others to go along with your desires. Like, have crazy desires. Like that's the kink. That's the kink of the true self. It's like, your desires aren't my desires. I don't know why you have those desires, but you got those desires. It's like, but when I get attached to the outcome, that others have to do what I want them to do, that's when it's selfish. That's when it's controlling. Your desires are your desires. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about them or how they judge them or whether they're right or wrong according to some standard that you didn't write. It's just like, I don't know, this is what I want. You game? And then realizing when the other is not game, is not up for like being with you or sort of playing along with you in its realization, it's like, okay, it doesn't mean anything about you, because that's when the stories get attached to it. It's like, oh, well, they don't like me. It's like, I'm unlovable. I'm unworthy. I'm embarrassed that I had that desire. There's something wrong with me. It's like, but what if it actually doesn't mean anything? It just means you had the courage to say out loud what you wanted. That's it. They said no. Okay, I'll carry on. But it's that I'll carry on, which is the healing, which is I'll hear the no, but it doesn't mean anything about me. And what you realize is that more often than not, actually, people are happy to, unlike your first early experiences in life, there's a lot of people are happy to play along. It's like the universe kind of, Jesus said, what father among you, if a child asks for a fish, will give him a stone? It's like, just because your first early experiences were that the universe doesn't give you what you want, doesn't mean that's the way it's structured. It means somebody made a mistake and not doing everything they could to make your life as beautiful as you wanted in your own particular quirky way. So that's one way to understand the frame, the journey that we're on. To what does it take to end a performance and just be myself, like this radical self-acceptance. I'm not here to impress anybody else. I'm not here to show anybody else what a good person I am. I'm not here. It's like, but and the irony is that, or the paradox is that, as I do what I just described, it's like then you'll discover you're actually more acceptable. It's like people are compelled. It's like, well, you're an interesting person. It's like, you that's your desire? Ah, cool. But you'll never know unless you take the risk. Okay, just a little riff on a movie I'm starting to watch and how deeply patterned the performer is.
Bruce, what was
Ultimately, the pain is like the hollowness you feel eventually of not being yourself. Anyways, yes, Pema,
what was the name of the movie?
Jay Kelly.
Jay Kelly. Thank you. And then I'm just wondering if you can, this is just a what if kind of thing, but what can you substitute um, can you substitute your self-expression for what you were talking about? Are they the same or are they really fundamentally different? Your true self-expression.
The same as what, Pamela?
As what we're talking about
Like letting go of the performance?
yes,
Yeah, they're the same thing.
they're the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, if you're actually, it's a little bit tricky, right? Because you always have to distinguish or be able to discern when you're in sort of the egoic compensation
Hmm.
and when you're in your heart. The desires of your egoic compensation, I mean, the ego knows what it's what it wants, but it's always about safety and it's always attached to the outcome. If you don't get it, you'll crash into your core unconscious belief of not
Hmm.
mattering. So only difference is between the desires of the heart and the desires of the ego is the desire of the heart lets things be. This is what I want, but I'm not attached to the outcome. But and the same is true of self-expression. egoic self-expression. Looks like you're expressing yourself, but you're expressing yourself in the service of external validation, of gaining approval, of people seeing
Mhm.
you as nice. So it looks like you're expressing yourself all over the place, but really the self-expression is a means to an end. In the heart self, the self-expression is an end in itself. You're just doing it because it's you. It's what life wants to do in you, through you, and as you. It's like, oh, here you are. And so you're revealing yourself to the world. You're saying, here I am, take it
Yeah.
or leave it. And if you leave it, God bless you. And if you take it, let's have some fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.